upset with myself. Fast forward to, I was sitting at lunch with a photographer looking at pictures, and I got another phone call from the same person, and he said, hey, like, you know, we have another position opening up, can you come down and meet us? I was like, where are you, what time? Can you come now? Yeah. I was on 8 Mile having lunch. So I left the photographer, went straight downtown, and I was hired that day. I was hired to do laundry on an overnight shift for $100 a day. The shift was from 5 in the afternoon till about maybe 5 in the morning, something like that, when they came back in. But it didn't matter to me because I just needed to get on set. I needed somebody on the set to recognize who AJ was and to say, hey, like, you know what, you're pretty awesome and we want to take you back to LA with us. And so I was like, all right, cool, so I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do laundry overnight from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. every day. And that happened to be one of the best experiences of my life because that truly changed my life. I did this job and I did it for a few months of shooting, and they actually brought me on to the day shift, so they moved me. And I started working with the costume designer, Mark Bridges. He's done like a ton of movies that you've seen, like Punch Drunk Love and The Italian Job and a few other things. And when the movie wrapped, he said, AJ, he's like, so what are you gonna do when this is all over? I was like, well, I'm not really sure. Like, I spent some time in New York, so maybe I want to go back there and try it out. And he said, well, if you ever want to come to LA, let me know, call me, because my house is big enough, and it's just me and my brother there, and we have an extra room, so you can have the room and you can just get a new life, because you don't really belong in Detroit. And that was what I was thinking from the beginning. I don't really belong here, and I'm glad that somebody on this set realized that I didn't belong here either, and that they wanted to take me to LA with them. So this is awesome. So I my $100 a day and my overnight shift paid off to what I was looking for it to do. So now I'm debating, I'm like, okay, cool, I bought my ticket. I was like, hey, well, you know, how much do I have to pay you when I get there? Because, you know, I want to save my money now, you know, so I don't get there and get set up. Because you know how you have a friend that says, oh, come on out, and then all of a sudden, you know, they want to tag on a bill and you got to pay half the rent and you just weren't prepared. So I wanted to be prepared and not get set up. And he said, no, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it when you get there. And I was still so leery and shaky. So I bought my ticket for a Friday. I went in on a Tuesday to tell Mac that I was leaving, and I was leaving on Friday, gotta go. And when I woke up on Wednesday, I had a swollen jaw, and it was progressively getting bigger. Like, it was just really weird, but I felt like, oh, I want to go back to sleep. You know, I need to go back to sleep, but I'm feeling really tired. But I drove myself, I was like, no, don't go back to sleep. I drove myself 30 minutes to U of M Medical Center, where by the time I got there, I was literally crawling to the desk, you know, just to fill out the paperwork and what have you. I had a benign tumor in my jaw that had been growing, I guess, since I was a kid. And it's the stuff that teeth are made out of, keratin, so it wasn't harmful, but it had been growing inside of itself. So now I looked like the Nutty Professor. Like, I was just huge, and I had never really seen myself look like that. So I didn't know what to think and what was going on, but I told the doctor, I was like, hey, so what's happening with me? He said, well, you know, this has been happening since you've been growing up, and, you know, it just decided to happen today. I was like, all right, cool, well, what do we have to do? He said, well, we have to operate. And so we have to cut a mark, like an incision on your face, you know, right here. So then I'm thinking, like, oh my God, like, I'm trying to be a makeup artist. Like, I'm not gonna be sexy with, you know, a gash on my face. I was like, so what am I gonna do with that? But then I thought, well, it might add a little character. I might kind of be that a little rough, you know? Like, let me go with it. So now I'm getting used to the idea of having this gash on my face, but I'm thinking, so I need to leave. I was like, but we can do the operation, so when can we start? Because I have a flight on Friday. And he was like, well, where are you going? I said, I'm going to start my new life. And he was like, where? I was like, I'm going to LA. I got a job, like, I got a place to live, I got money coming, like, I'm ready to go. Like, the ticket is bought. So he didn't have to hard to tell me that this wasn't gonna happen. Where it kind of popped up overnight, I wasn't leaving overnight. And it took about 2 months for my face to go down and to come back to this beautiful palette you see today. Slender, sleek, you know. So here I am, I'm trying to get in and out of Detroit, you know, like I'm just like, this city just won't let me go, like the people won't let me go. I burnt my hand, I had like a 3rd-degree burn, you know, right before I tried it again, and I was just like, you know, wow, I just got shackles on my feet and my arms. So I was watching Behind the Music for about a week. Can I take this out real quick? I was watching Behind the Music for about a week, and I was watching, the first one was Diddy. They show how he went from DC to New York every day on a train doing an internship. And I was like, okay, this is really great. Like, this is very inspirational. Then the next one that I saw was Jennifer Lopez. Her parents never supported her. You know, they kicked her out when she said she wanted to be a dancer. And she loved dance so much, and she believed in herself so much that she went and slept in the basement of her dance studio before she moved to Los Angeles and became a fly girl and then became Jennifer Lopez. So the last one that I saw was Left Eye. Left Eye, you know, she was in Philly. She had come to Atlanta with $700, and then within maybe a few months, she was auditioning for a group called TLC, and TLC became one of the biggest girl groups of all time before Destiny's Child. So I took all of that in, and I was equipped. And I said, okay, well, let me count my cash, because again, I've been off work for 2 months. I had been living off of what I saved to go to LA, and I had like maybe $700 left. So this $700, I was like, okay, cool, what can we do? I bought a bus ticket, a one-way bus ticket to LA, and I didn't tell anybody that I was leaving this time because I think there was just some negative energy in the air. They trying to shackle me all those other times. So I was like, you know what, let me just let the haters simmer, and I'm gonna just do me, and I'm gonna let them know when I'm there, you know, because now I'm here, you can't hold me back. So I got on my Greyhound. 2 days into the trip, I saw tumbleweed going. I was like, oh, I thought this was just in the cartoons, but it was a real life thing. And then I got to LA and I called my friend and I was like, hey Mark, so I'm going to, is the offer still open? Mind you, I hadn't talked to him in 2 months. And he's like, yeah, like when do you want to come? I was like, I'll be there tomorrow. He was like, where are you? I was like, I'm on Greyhound. I was like, I took my last bus. So basically had $400 and my bus ticket in LA. And I had 1 bag of makeup and 1 bag of like a change of clothes, like some clothes that I took. And that was the start of it all. And I've never looked back since. And it's been the most amazing experience, like having to do that. And I tell you all that because, you know, there's so many things that stop us from accomplishing our dreams and our goals, you know, whether we didn't have money, you know, or the lack of money, or we're paying bills. I had $20,000 in debt, and mind you, I just got out of this operation, which I didn't have insurance to cover either. So I had all these things, but I knew that I would make more money when I got to LA than if I stayed in Michigan and tried to work some dead-end job that was only paying me peanuts to try to pay down debt. You know, like you're always going to have debt. You're more than likely you're going to die with some debt. So why not get where you got to go, you know, and really accomplish the goals that you set out to do while trying to handle and manage those other things, that business life that you do need to handle. So I got to LA and I met this girl named Lori Phillips. I took my portfolio everywhere. Like I didn't really, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I'm here, you know. And when I at Mark's house, like. One day I was watching TV and Paul Rubens came in the house and he was like, oh, hey, I heard you're new to LA. I was like, yeah, like I'm cool. I'm thinking, this is fucking Pee Wee Herman. Like I used to watch him every Saturday morning. Like what is going on? Then another time I woke up and Fiona Apple was in the other room, and then at the breakfast table there was Alicia Silverstone, and every day I would just walk out of this house with this, you know, this bravado, like my chest was out, like I was so happy to be in LA, like anything can happen, my dreams are coming true. I had no car, everybody said don't come to LA without a car, and mind you, I don't have a car now. I just moved back December 19th, but I've been in New York so long, it's just like, and I was here once before with no car, I'm like, I don't need a car to be in LA, like that's just like hogwash, you know, so my first job, my first celebrity client was Fergie from Black Eyed Peas. I met her before she joined the group. We was doing something with will.i.am's clothing line called I Am Clothing, and I was doing a lookbook, and then we did a fashion show, and Fergie and I became close, and then the first video, Where's the Love? I got paid like $600 to do hair and makeup. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I made her, I kind of made her, she loved to be tan, so I made her orange, and you know, and it was a disaster. Everybody was like, you know, what, like, can we do this? I was like, well, she wants this, and then they want this. It's like, what do you do? So then I grew to really understand the system and understand how it works. And so from Fergie, it went to Keisha Cole, it went to Christina Milian, it went to A. Marie. So now I have this great clientele that I love to boast. I traveled with Hilary Duff for quite some time, spent about 4 or 5 years with Fergie and the other girls, and I've been working with Estelle for the last 3 years now, and I just acquired Carrie Hilson. So I've had a really great career. And then I started Kissable Couture. I started Kissable Couture, which is my lip gloss line, which I have with Keisha Whitaker, Forrest Whitaker's wife, and that's been an amazing experience. We sell that, you know, in all these little boutiques and high-end apothecaries across the country. So my story is one of success, of, you know, triumph. Like, not everybody's in your corner all the time, and I can't say that everybody really believed in everything that I was doing, but I believed in myself. I believed enough in myself to know that I was worth giving myself the opportunity and the chance to take a chance on me. I've worked with Pat McGrath in Paris on no money. You know, I went to London with $750 one time, just thinking like, oh, what am I gonna do here? And I always made it work. So that's just my message. I don't claim to be the best makeup artist. I think that there's a lot better makeup artists out here, but I know a lot and I've seen a lot, and I believed in myself, and I'm like, I've screwed up enough faces, you know, to know that, you know, it's got to be times when you got to fake it to make it, you know, and just throw like Reggie used to, we worked together on a few things, and he's probably seen me screw some things up on a set or two, and like, what is that? Like, what are you doing? But, you know, keep going, keep pressing, keep going forward, because, and do it all. Like everyone always says, like, you can't do it all. Like I have Kissable Couture, I have another makeup product that I'm putting out and developing. I do makeup jobs, so, you know, everyone says, oh, you got too much on your plate. It's never enough until you just can't handle it anymore, and you know when you can't do that. So with that being said, believe in yourself, keep going forward, stay strong, and let's get into some makeup, all right?